Good, happy Sunday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Politics with Riley King. Let's get started. First up, Cavan calls Republican web of corruption Mailer attempted character assassination. Democratic State Senate candidate and Manchester Alderman Kevin Cavan says a new Republican mailer charging that he is part of a web of corruption and conflict with other aldermen is an attempt at character assassination, which he says no place in politics. Cavan faces Republican former Senator David Boutin, and Libertarian Jason DeBarro in a special election to be held Tuesday in Senate District 16, which includes Manchester Ward 1, 2, and 12, and the towns of Hooksett, Bow, Dunbarton, and Candia. Massachusetts will consider adding a new exit to the Pike. Under the state budget signed by Governor Charlie Baker this week, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation was ordered to study two changes that could affect travel and tourism in the western part of the state. One of the studies will evaluate adding a new interchange to the Massachusetts Pike between the city of Westfield and the town line of Lee. The approximately 30-mile stretch between those two exits is currently the longest ride between ramps anywhere along the Pike, the longest distance between two highways exits anywhere in New England. New England Public Radio reported that one potential location for the interchange is at the Blandford service area, where the state already owns the land. A report on the study is scheduled to be delivered to the legislature no later than July 1st, 2018. Meanwhile, Mass DOT will also be evaluating a train option molded off the Cape Flyer service to bring people to Berkshire County during the summer season. The working group ordered on the budget will look at creating the rail service between New York City and Pittsfield. The result of that committee's work is due no later than March 1st, 2018. Democrats hurdle agreement on sweeping Russian sanctuaries bill. Let's take a listen to this video.
Stay all year long with a Shed. Shed Happens is Maine's manufacturer and retailer of the highest quality custom wood and vinyl storage sheds. No more snow blowers, lawn mowers, and tools taking up space in your garage or cluttering your yard. Store it all in a shed. Buy with ease with our rent-to-own financing. Visit ShedHappens.com for ideas and information, or visit us in person. Shed Happens, Warren Avenue in Portland and Portland Road in Saco.
Wait for the day. On Friday, the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee said President Donald Trump's eldest son and his former campaign manager have agreed to negotiate whether to be interviewed by the panel in its Russia probe. The committee said in a statement it would not immediately issue subpoenas requiring Donald Trump Jr. and former campaign manager Paul Manafort to testify at a public hearing set for Wednesday, but they, quote, reserve the right to do so in the future. The committee also said it has issued a subpoena for Glenn Simpson to appear at the hearing after he declined to voluntarily attend. Simpson's firm compiled a dossier on then-candidate Donald Trump during the campaign.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Spicer feeling relieved after resigning as White House press secretary. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Great to have you with us here on a Friday night, and we begin with that shakeup at the White House. Sean Spicer is out, resigning after 6 months on the job. Seen today outside the old executive office building, our correspondent was inside the West Wing as this drama was unfolding. Sean Spicer was there from the start, his first fight over the crowd size at the inauguration. So tonight, who's now in charge of delivering the president's message? ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
Today, just 6 months into the job, President Trump's embattled press secretary called it quits. Sean Spicer's brief tenure got off to a bad start.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
Spicer's debut made nobody happy. The president didn't like his look, including the ill-fitting suit, and others criticized his inaccuracies, or as another aide called them,
Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts.
2 days later, he took his first questions. I asked a basic one.
Is it your intention to always tell the truth from that podium, and will you pledge never to knowingly say something that is not factual?
It is. It's an honor to do this, and yes, I believe that we have to be honest with the American people.
History will judge whether he lived up to that, but his confrontational style...
I'm sorry, please stop shaking your head again. Somebody's asking a question. It's not your press briefing. Okay, you don't get to just yell out questions. We're going to raise our hand like big boys and girls.
And the unforgettable SNL parody...
I'd like to begin today by apologizing on behalf of you to me.
...made Sean Spicer a celebrity, the most mocked, but also the most famous press secretary ever. But today it all came crashing down. He was totally blindsided by the president's choice of a new communications director, slamming the door in my face when I went up to ask him about it. Hours later, as Spicer slipped out of the West Wing, the all-smiles appearance of the new hire, Anthony Scaramucci, setting an entirely different tone.
I'm gonna get to everybody, don't worry.
He's a wealthy financier, friend of the president, but in the early days of the campaign, he called Trump a hack politician, and worse.
I'll tell you who he's going to be president of. You can tell Donald I said this. The Queens County Bullies Association. You got to cut it out now and stop all this crazy rhetoric.
Does he know what you said about him back in 2015 when you said he was a hack politician?
He brings it up every 15 seconds, okay? One of the biggest mistakes that I made, because I was an unexperienced person in the world of politics, I was supporting another candidate. I should have never said that about him. So, Mr. President, if you're listening, I personally apologize for the 50th time for saying that.
We asked the same question we asked Sean Spicer back in January.
Okay, there's been a question about credibility, some things that have been said in this room. Is it your commitment to the best of your ability, give accurate information, the truth from that podium?
I mean, I sort of feel like I don't even have to answer that question. I hope you can feel that from me, just from my body language. That's the kind of person I am. We'll do the best I can.
All right, John Karl with us live from the White House tonight. And John, you reported that Sean Spicer was blindsided by this announcement of a new communications director, and he was not the only one caught off guard here?
This was a decision that was made by the president himself. The only ones he really consulted with were his daughter Ivanka, his son-in-law Jared Kushner, The other senior staff, David, for the most part, did not even learn of this until the president had already made up his mind. When they did learn of it, some of them tried to get the president to change his mind, but to no avail.
John Carl leading us off on a Friday night. John, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for Politics with Riley King, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Goodbye, everyone.